welcome back to the PhatPhish Guitar Studio. I'm Dave, and in this video we're going to be taking a look and listen to this. It's the Yamaha THR5A acoustic guitar amplifier. Now lately I've been getting back into playing acoustic guitar quite a bit. I've got this Turner Guitars CD32, absolutely love it, but I found playing the guitar around the house great fun, really enjoying it, but the sound's a little bit dead sometimes in certain rooms, if there's not a whole lot of reverb going on just from the natural environment. So I started looking at options, nothing too expensive, just something to use around the house to give me a bit more life to my guitar sound. So basically I've got a guitar that sounds like this just in the room. But plugging in something like this Yamaha THR5A, it gives me something that sounds more like this. Much nicer. Basically this is a low power, it's only 5 watt transistor amplifier, but it's got some built-in effects. Really nice for using around the house. Now I'm going to start off actually with a disclaimer. I've had so much hate mail in the past couple of weeks from people who've been watching videos of mine where I do product demos or reviews and I talk. I'm sorry, I talk about things because I like to explain what they are and how they work. I'm not just going to sit and play. So if you've got a low attention span and you just want to hear somebody playing the guitar into an amplifier, now's the time to click the thumbs down button and leave. The rest of you stick around. I'll explain what it is I'm actually playing into, how it works, what features it's got, and how they all kind of interact with each other. If you're still here, thanks for sticking around. Let's take a look at the amplifier. So it's a lovely sort of retro looking thing. At first glance you might think, oh, it's a tube amplifier because of that lovely orange glow. No, it's not. That's just some lights inside. It's all solid state. It's not a modelling amplifier as such, it's just a transistor solid state amp. So, going from left to right, we've got a little display which is used for the tuner, a button which is used for turning the tuner on and off, setting delay times, and also enabling some wide stereo. We'll come back to that in a little while. The main controls, we've got a mic type, explain what that does in a second. We've got a blend control, master, tone, effect for compression and or chorus, delay and or reverb, and volume. The master and the volume are a little confusing in the names. I actually think they're slightly backwards if you're used to some regular guitar amplifiers, but never mind. And we've got an input for the guitar here, output for headphones. In this case I'm just going to the mixing desk, and a little auxiliary input around here if you want to plug in an MP3 player or something to play along with. To quickly explain how this works, this is an electro-acoustic guitar. So under the saddle here I've got a piezo pickup, which picks up vibration from the string as it touches the saddle, and the vibration goes in the guitar, goes to a little preamp module here, out through a cable and strap button, and then that's into the amplifier. Now this doesn't particularly give you, to my ears, a very pleasing sound. I find the sound of just a piezo pickup on its own a little bit harsh. So the amp is currently set like this, and this is how it sounds. Now what Yamaha have done is they've built in some microphone emulation. So what this is trying to emulate is, if I had a microphone in front of my guitar here now picking up the sound acoustically, how would that sound? Now this is something that can only kind of emulate based upon the information the amplifier is given from the piezo, but it does provide something closer to the natural mic'd sound in the room. Now, it doesn't convey all the subtleties from the different tone woods that you might have in the guitar, but certainly to my ears it's better than just the piezo pickup direct on its own. So there's two controls we need to look at on the amplifier for that. We've got mic type here and we've got blend. So what the mic type allows us to do is to pick the kind of microphone that we're emulating, so whether it's a regular condenser microphone, a dynamic microphone, a tube microphone, or there's a couple of other settings, one which is well suited for if you've got a nylon guitar going into the amp, or one for clean electric guitar. Let's look at the microphone emulation. So going on to the condenser, this is the sound with the blend control all the way down, so all you're hearing is the sound of the piezo pickup on its own. And now you're hearing it with the blend control all the way up. So what you were hearing at the end there was purely the emulated microphone, which hopefully you will agree with me sounds a bit more pleasing than just the piezo pickup on its own. But because this control is variable, we can adjust the amount of direct signal to emulated microphone signal. So this is the microphone all on its own. And then sort of half and half. So that's the sound of 50% direct signal to 50% emulated microphone. Now all the sounds you're hearing here are the direct sound of the amplifier into the mixing desk. You're not hearing any of the sound from the room. When I mix the audio for this video, I'll cut the room mic, so you're only hearing the sound of the amplifier. You're not hearing the sound of the guitar. So we'll turn the blend control all the way up and go from the sound of the condenser microphone to the dynamic microphone. And lastly, the tube microphone. Because there's quite a lot to get through in the demo, I can't spend too long playing samples because the video's just going to go on forever, but hopefully that gives you a quick idea as to the different characteristics of the different emulated microphones. Because the next thing I want to talk about is not just the microphone emulation and all that, which is in itself is quite clever, but look at the effects that we've got built in. There's two sets of effects on here. We've got this one which is compression and or chorus, and this one which is delay and or reverb. Let's look at the one labelled effect first of all. We'll set this to dynamic microphone, which is my particular favourite, and this is the sound of the guitar with no effects on at all. Now dial in a little bit of compression. And now a little bit more. So compression is kind of a subtle effect, so you're not going to be hearing a huge amount of difference in sound there, but as you can hear there's a bit of scope for adjusting the amount of compression in the signal. Now the way this effect knob works is quite clever, so we can go from like 0 to a third of full to give us the varying amounts of compression. Once we get above third way, we get into combined compression and chorus. Then we're going to get to like 2/3 up to maximum setting, if you like. This is bringing in various degrees of chorus. So this is the chorus sound just on its own. And if I want, I can bring the control sort of back into this zone here, where I get compression and chorus together. quite nice and quite versatile. Next, let's look at the delay and reverb button. So I'll take the compression chorus effects off. Start with delay. This is quite a nice one to use because you've got this button here which allows you to set the delay time. So I'll turn the delay up a little bit. You can hear that. Nice straightforward echo. But using this button here, just tap it a few times. Light flashes there to let you see the delay speed. So you can hear that's a much tighter delay pattern, much shorter. We'll turn that up a little bit more, we'll get a more pronounced delay signal. And I can set that pretty much to anything I want just by using that tap button. So longer pauses and I get a delay like this. So now let's move on to the reverb sound, and to be honest this is the effect that I was most interested in because I wanted something to just give my guitar sound a little bit more like ambience. So this is a whole reverb setting. Put this up part way, no delay, no chorus, no compression. So you can hear that really fills the sound out quite nicely. Take that up to full, something a bit more pronounced. And like the compressor and chorus control, this allows us to go part way and have a mix of delay and reverb together. So you can hear this has got the reverb, but it's also got the delay signal in there as well. Lots of good sounds on offer then, as you can hear, but there's a few other features on the amp that I want to show you. First off is some stuff that we can do with this button here. Now I was showing you it before when I was using it to set the delay time, but what we can also do with this is if we press it down and hold it, this lights up and I'm now, as you can see, in tuner mode. So if I play a string, it tells me if I'm sharp or flat or right there. I've tried this against some other tuners and it's plenty accurate enough. So press that button again, it takes us out of tuning mode. Now it doesn't actually have it labelled on the front panel as such, but there is a third option for what that button can do, and it puts you into what is called super wide stereo. So the signal that you're hearing at the minute is the guitar into the amplifier, and that's out to the mixing desk and you're hearing a nice stereo signal. That really comes into its own with the effects, especially like the reverb and the chorus, that really fill the space out nicely in the stereo spectrum. But if I press this button down and I hold it for a little bit longer, it goes out of tuner mode and this little sharp sign lights up. And what that tells me is I'm now in super wide stereo mode. So what I'll do now is I'll just play something with it in super wide stereo mode. If you're not listening on headphones, now's the time to grab a set of headphones and plug them into your PC or whatever device you're listening to this on. And by the way, if you listen to this on a cell phone and you're not using headphones, you've probably wasted some time already, because you're not going to get a good representation of the sound. If you're listening on a cell phone, you need to be using external speakers or headphones. But yeah, so this is the sound of the guitar into the amplifier in super wide stereo mode. back to normal. So hopefully you can hear the difference. Whether you think one sounds better or not, it's entirely subjective. So that's quite a lot of features on the amplifier. You might think some of the effects are a little bit restrictive. All you can do is just, adjust the intensity of them. And when you're in that mix mode, if you want more compression, you get more chorus because of the way the way that control works. However, do not despair. If you plug this into your PC, you can download some software from Yamaha which allows you to plug in via USB and tweak all the internal parameters. And you can build libraries of presets on your computer and set the amplifier up just how you want it. Even down to things like if you don't like those lights on the front, you can turn those off. And there's a few sort of like sound settings which aren't actually available through the control panel naturally, but you can get at them if you use the software. All the sounds you're hearing today are stock. I haven't tweaked the amplifier settings in any way using the PC software. I wanted to give you a kind of an impression of how it sounds straight out of the box. Is this the amplifier for you? Well, it's certainly the amplifier for me. I really like it. It's been in the house for a few weeks now, just been noodling around and experimenting with the different sounds, and I really like it. You get an awful lot for your money. It's from Yamaha, who've got a good reputation. You should know them. They've been in the music industry for years. Good quality acoustic guitars, electric guitars, electronics, keyboards, motorcycles. They build all sorts, and it's good quality product. The amplifier itself feels well built. It's a nice metal chassis. All the controls feel nice and responsive, and hopefully you can hear from the stuff I've been playing. Sonically, it's some really good stuff coming out of the speaker. Cost wise, it's about 150, maybe 160 pounds. Obviously, shop around if you're buying online, particularly this weekend. I'm actually shooting this video on Black Friday, so this amplifier is probably being heavily discounted all over the internet right now, and you can get it for £4 attractive. But yeah, there's an awful lot in there for £160 or so. Even if you consider how much you would pay for a compressor and a chorus pedal and a delay pedal and a reverb pedal, the electronics alone for the effects would probably come to more than the cost of the amplifier. So you get an awful lot. In terms of where you would use it, really it's intended as like a home amplifier. I think they sometimes brand it as a desktop amplifier. It's only 5 watts. It's a transistor amp. It's not super loud, but it's plenty loud enough for playing around the house. But it's controllable as well because it's not super loud. You've got some quite fine control on the volume, so you can play it loud enough in the room that you can hear the quality of the sound coming out the speakers and the effects and whatnot, but you're not going to be disturbing people in the next room or anything like that. Whether or not you would use it in a live situation, well, it's not really intended for using in a live situation, but to be honest, you've got that direct out on it. You could plug it into a PA system if the venue that you're playing at has a PA. If you're like a singer guitarist, you just want to sit with your acoustic guitar. I guess really the dream scenario is, can you turn up with stuff you can just carry from the car into the venue in one go. You could easily carry that, your cables, a microphone, mic stand, and your guitar in a case, pretty much all in one go. So it's possibly worth considering if you want a lightweight, very portable amplifier. Certainly the speaker on its own is not loud enough to fill a venue, but if you mic that up or you just plug it direct into the mixing desk, it could be an option. You've got that auxiliary input here, so you can plug in your iPad or MP3 player, whatever device you use for generating audio if you want to play backing tracks or whatever. So again, very flexible. If you want, the speaker, and this is quite interesting, it gives you full range, so you could use it, actually plug it into your MP3 player and use it as an amplifier for playing music. In fact, that's what I have been doing in the office. I've just I had this in my home office and just plugged my phone into it and used it as a very nice output for listening to music on Spotify. Okay, so hopefully you've heard everything on the amplifier. Couldn't show you the nylon setting because I don't have a nylon string guitar. For what it's worth, that's the sound of a steel string guitar onto a setting that's recommended for nylon string guitars. And there's also this one, which is clean electric. So that's probably worthwhile. For all this is an acoustic guitar amplifier. It's got a setting on there for electric guitar, so why don't we plug in an electric guitar and let you hear how that sounds. What happens, I've got a guitar, an assortment of electric guitars here, so let's grab this Williams Evo Artist and hear how that sounds. So put the amplifier into electric guitar clean mode, turn the effects off other than give it a little bit of reverb. And this control here now does something different. Before it was giving us a mix between the pure like piezo sound coming in from the guitar pickup and a blend of the emulated microphone. In the electric guitar setting, this actually acts like a gain control. So if I put it halfway, we get just the hopefully a nice straightforward clean sound. Now for an acoustic guitar amplifier, that's not a bad sound. If you're interested, this is my Williams Guitars Evo Artist. It's got a Seymour Duncan JB at the bridge and Seymour Duncan Jazz at the neck. So fairly classic sounding humbuckers, so you should know what they sound like. So that's the amplifier. This with the gain control set halfway. Let's turn the blend, or as it is now, the gain control up. Let's go full. Why not? Okay. Need to turn the volume down a little bit because obviously this is a gain control, so it's turning up the signal level, and now I get some sounds like this. It's not super gainy, but it's not meant to be. It's not an electric guitar amplifier, it's an acoustic guitar amp that has something that allows you to have the sound of a reasonably clean guitar. What I suppose you could do, you could plug a drive pedal into this, couldn't you? What would happen if I plugged this guitar into my pedal board with some drive pedals and into here? Let's have a listen. I haven't actually tried this. I'm interested to see what it sounds like. So, right then, bit of an experiment. Electric guitar into my pedal board, listen to the full tone plimsoll overdrive pedal, into the EG clean setting on the amplifier. Let's hear how it sounds. Now that's not bad considering what you've got here is an acoustic guitar amplifier. So if you don't want the expense of a little, playing around at home acoustic guitar amplifier and an electric guitar amplifier, and Yamaha do make the THR range, they do various electric guitar amplifiers as well, much more suited to electric guitar, but just for clean electric guitar or electric guitar with a drive pedal, this is an option. It's a bit of a digression though. This isn't intended primarily as an electric guitar amplifier, it's an acoustic guitar amplifier, and hopefully from what you've heard in the preceding demo, it does the job particularly well. I'd strongly recommend if you're after a little amplifier for just home or like, as they call it, desktop use, doing a bit of home recording, it's an ideal tool and you get an awful lot of amplifier for not a whole lot of money. So let your ears guide you, and if you think it sounds good, pop down to your local music store and try one out. Just for the record, this is an amplifier I bought with my own money. I'm not being paid by Yamaha or anything like that. I haven't had the stuff supplied. I need to do the full disclosure thing to keep YouTube happy. No, this is a fully independent review of a piece of gear that I bought myself. That's that. Thanks very much for watching. I hope you found the video useful, entertaining, informative, whatever. If you did, please click like down there. If you really enjoyed it and want to see more videos that I post onto the YouTube channel, then there's a subscribe button down there. Click on that, click the bell icon, you get notified when I upload new content. If you've got anything that you want to ask me about guitar, playing, guitar equipment, music theory, anything like that, then if you go here, you can fill in a form, send your question or whatever in, and I'll try and get around to responding to it in a future video. A bit more reliable than leaving comments in the comment section below, because I don't always see those. You're welcome to comment, but don't use it as a prime means of getting in touch with me, because I don't always see those comments. That form is more reliable if you've got something that you want to specifically ask me to cover in a video. Okay, that's all for now. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you in another video next time. Bye for now.